Hey guys, Brian from Boas here. As you probably noticed, I haven't really made that many videos lately because I've been a little preoccupied with all my baby boas. So today I want to give you guys just a high-level, off-the-cuff update about what I've been doing, say a little bit about all my babies, and just what I'm looking forward to in the next few months ahead. So as you know, I had a really busy breeding season. It was a record breeding season for me. My best breeding season ever, and I've got lots and lots of really great, beautiful baby boas. Many of them are available already. Some of them are going to be available in the next few weeks to few months. I've had a lot of ideas for videos I want to do, and my absence from YouTube lately isn't because I don't want to make videos, but I just don't have the time. So basically, my last few months has been, almost everything has just been centered around all my baby boas, getting them ready to go. And slowly but surely I'm getting there. But basically every day I have a list of things I want to do during the day relating to the boas. I almost never will get any days off these days. It's 7 days a week I'm doing boas. Even when I go to my day job, when I get home at night, I'm doing boas. And of course I'm doing the email communicating, advising people about boas, selling boas, shipping boas. I'm doing this pretty much 24/7 when I'm not sleeping, that is. So it's just been this really busy time for me, which is great. And as I mentioned, I had a really busy season. Ended up with 16 litters and somewhere over 200 babies. So it's a lot of little babies to get going. And right now I have pretty much all my babies from all 16 litters. Most of them are feeding. I just fed my Surinames, which was litter number 16, born just about 2.5 weeks ago. And they all ate the first time. So those 9 beautiful baby Surinames are now feeding. And most of my other litters, 100% of them are now feeding, with the exception of my Qual Key and my Cocker Key. I still have a few holdouts that haven't fed yet, but almost all my babies are feeding. And pretty much all my babies are going to be available pretty soon if they're not available already. If you go to my Flickr page, which you can go see the link under the video description, but that's the best place to go to see all my available baby boas. Right now I have, I think 13 out of the 16 litters are up with pictures and prices and information. The Cocker Key and Qual Key and the Suriname litter number 4 are going to be up pretty soon. And in fact, the Qual Key and Cocker Key are actually available right now. If you are interested in a Qual Key or Cocker Key, just shoot me an email. Even though I don't have the photos up yet, if you want to reserve one, you can do that. So as I mentioned, it was a really busy season. And sometimes I have a list of things I want to do during the day, and the videos have to be the last priority, unfortunately, because I have to prioritize caring for the baby boas and caring for my other boas, and shipping boas out, things like that take the priority. So I just don't have the time to make the videos sometimes, but managed to tear myself away and set up the camera. I have a list of things that I want to do, and so hopefully in the next few weeks I should get kind of more back to my regular video schedule, but we'll just have to see. And so really busy season, 16 litters, and it's kind of cool that they were divided among 4 different types of boas, each with 4 litters. So I had 4 litters of true red tails, and they were all Surinames. I did have a few other pairings of Peruvian and Venezuelan boas. Unfortunately, I got slug outs on those, so I don't have any Peruvian or Venezuelan red tails this year. But I've got some really great Suriname red tails. They just get better and better every year, and I'm really proud of some of the babies I've created this year. Or really all the babies are just all so nice. And then I've got 4 morph boa litters. That was a really good year for morph boas. I've got a really nice Moran Hypo Jungle litter. I've got an IMG Moonglow litter. I've got some Sun Glows and Jung Glows. And then I've got some Hypo Jungle IMGs het for VPIT positive. So a lot of really nice morph boas. I actually had 4 out of 4 hit this year as far as the morphs. So really good success rate on the morph boas. The boas I call also boas, Amarali, Longicauda, Sabogae occidentalis. I had 3 out of the 4. So I had a litter of Argentines, the occidentalis, litter of the Sabogae, the Pearl Islands, and then I had 2 litters of Longicauda, which are really, really nice. Those guys are now feeding and ready to go as well, from both the Russo bloodline and the Bisset bloodline. Really, really nice animals. And then finally, the other 4 boas I would call like dwarf boas and island boas. I've got Tarahumara, Crawl Key, Cocker Key, and I actually still have a couple fire bellies. The fire bellies were born earlier this year and they went super fast. And normally I don't sell boas until they're ready to go and I put them up on my Flickr site. I had a lot of people reach out to me on the fire bellies because they're really, really hard to get, really rare boa. And so a lot of them went to people that I've dealt with in the past and that I really feel confident about, that will give them a really good home and hopefully continue the fire belly breeding project, because ultimately I can't breed these boas forever, and I want my projects to go to people who will continue them, and they'll continue the legacy of boa breeding, keep these localities pure, improve on the morphs, things like that, but just continue the projects responsibly. And I'm really, really happy of the people that got them. I feel super confident that they'll get the top-notch care and that they'll continue the legacy of these great breeding projects. So as I mentioned, this is by far my most successful breeding season. More than twice as many babies as I've had in my next most successful breeding season. And a lot of stuff just worked. I mean, you never really know what your success rate is going to be when breeding boas. It can be anywhere from like 0 or like, maybe 10%. Maybe you pair up, 10 pairs, you get 2 that are successful as far as babies, up until nearly 100%. When you're starting out, a lot of people get lucky and they have, close to 100% success rate. And that's what I had in my first few years when I just had like 2 projects or 3 projects. And I think that maybe that's why I stayed with it, because those first few years it seemed so easy. But then I realized after a few more years, no, it's really not that easy. And then I had some bad years where I was getting maybe 30, 40%. So I think this year I'll probably do another video in the future, kind of going more into the numbers, because it's interesting to see success rates. And I think a lot of people have this idea that boas breed like rabbits based on some of the questions I've been getting, and they really, really don't. And boas are really not a prolific breeder. It's really hard to get certain types of boas to breed, and other times boas just breed under strange circumstances. So there's not a lot of rhyme or reason sometimes, especially with the true red tails. So this year, I don't know, I would say offhand I probably had 70% success rate. I did have a few slug outs. I had some others that just didn't take, but a lot of my boas had successful litters. And then I had really nice litter sizes, quite a few litters over 20 babies, which is, that's on the high end. I mean, people think boas have these huge litters. They really don't. A typical boa litter is somewhere around, 10 to 15 babies, especially for some of the true red tails and some of the dwarf boas. They just don't have these huge litters. I mean, every once in a while you'll see this report of a litter of, 60, 70 babies, and it does happen, but it's extremely uncommon. So anyway, really, really good year. But I could say I'm a victim of my own success because I have no time for anything else. I've literally just been spending time caring for my baby boas, and it's a little overwhelming, to be honest. And it's always great to have a new litter, but then when you have another one 2 days later, it's almost, you're on cloud 9, and then you have another one, and then another one, and then it starts to get a little unreal. It's almost like you're dreaming, but it's also somewhat stressful. All these babies you got to care for, and you got to worry about housing them and feeding them. And if you have a rodent colony, you might have to gear up your rodent colony to get more production of, if you're going to feed live baby mice, for example. So it can be really stressful. And I had a lot of litters like in early July. I think I had like 1 week I had 6 or 7 litters in like a week and a half. It was just crazy. Then things kind of calmed down for a few weeks, And then August I had 1 litter, and that was the last litter. So I'm kind of happy that it's over. But I'm really thrilled that I have all these great baby boas that are ready to go. And the real crazy thing is that the 2025 baby boa breeding season is going to start in just about a month and a half, which is almost insane, you know, given all the time that I've been spending so far. Boa breeding, you just don't get a break. It's really a year-round thing, because you're always doing something to either prepare your boas for breeding, or the breeding is going on, or you're waiting for the babies, or you're taking care of the babies. And you know, the first litters are born sometime typically around March, and then the last litters are born typically August, so that's, you know, what, that 5 or 6 months. So it's just a non-stop thing, and it's great, it's exhilarating, it, you know, definitely keeps me going, but it does require a lot of energy and commitment and dedication, and you really have to make it your priority, or it's just not going to work out. Of course, you can do it, you know, fewer litters, or you don't have to breed, of course. But for boa breeding, it's going to start again, and I'm going to start to prepare my animals. Actually, I've been preparing them all summer, giving them extra meals, getting them into breeding shape. But my pairings will probably start in early November, and I'll update you guys once I'm a little closer. Right now, I'm thinking about which animals I'm going to pair up, and this upcoming year is going to be a lot fewer pairings than last year. So I'm not going to have probably nearly as many babies next year, which is a good thing, because, you know, I need a little breathing room. And you know, I may never have a breeding season like this again. This might be my best breeding season of all time, and I might not replicate it. You know, which is okay, because I focus on really quality rather than quantity. And even in years where I don't get that many litters and a lot of stuff doesn't work out, I always seem to get some really super nice, high quality animals that I'm just super happy with. So that's really what's important. And that's what any breeder should really be focusing on, rather than the raw numbers or success rate. But anyway, this video is just kind of impromptu off the top of my head, if you couldn't tell. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. I'm hoping to get some more videos made pretty soon, back to the regular schedule. I've been getting a lot of questions about buying boas and the whole process, so I can hopefully run through that with you guys in a future video. I want to do a video pretty soon showing you guys close-ups of some of the available animals, and I'm really, really happy with the selection I have now. I think there's very few places you can go other than Brian Boas that have the selection that I have right now. You know, if you had told me 10 or 15 years ago how many baby boas and what quality and selection I would have now, I would think I was dreaming. You know, it's like I died and went to boa heaven, but I am just surrounded by amazing boas, and great time to get boas as well. The prices are down. I've really made my pricing competitive, and I know a lot of you guys don't have much money because of the inflation and the economic situation, so I really want to, you know, make deals, and if you see a boa you want, I really want you to have that. So I'm really willing to work with you. Another future video idea is about the economic situation and the boa market, and I plan to make a video on that topic in a few weeks, or whenever I can get my thoughts out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for some more in the near future, and hope that you had a really great boa breeding season if you're breeding, and just enjoyed the hobby as much as I do. Anyway, shoot me any questions you have. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your boas.